Hello, everyone, and welcome back to VCT Americas, where banana consumption at an all-time high here for NRG, and they're going to need to keep their energy up here, moving into map number 2. But they come away with the victory in Bind, and what a different Bind this was, Sean. Just from the last series we saw to this one, felt like a totally different map in a lot of ways.
The last time we saw NRG, this is a totally different NRG, right? Their attack side was dominant. Their defense side was really horrible, actually, the last time we saw them. This time, it's the exact opposite, right? Their stall on the defense was perfect. I feel like there was nothing EG could do. They had 0 first bloods on their attack half just now.
Yeah, I think it's a common occurrence to NRG, and even when they were on Optic, that they would just kind of start slow in games. But once Finesse kind of figures out your team's pace and how you like to approach the map, I feel like he always has the proper call, and it showed again here in this match.
And I think to that end, right, that's where we do give a little bit of credit over to Evil Geniuses. We've talked about how creative they can be, right? And in that first half, they showed us a lot of really interesting stuff. There were a couple defensive plays, round 8, round 9, the Viper Molly along with the Raise Nade to get a couple kills and clean that up. It required NRG to come up with interesting stuff of their own here on the back half to claw back into it.
Yeah, I've been waiting for teams that run the harbor to do plays like this, where they create little pockets in the high tides for people to get behind and then sky flash them through. It worked so well, and then it gets the harbor ult onto Sam. They have this ult for the retake on their bonus. And this is what really spurred the comeback. Getting the bonus on this defensive half, they never looked back at that point.
Yeah, getting the Harbor ult so early in the half is very pivotal, especially getting it on the bonus. Harbor ult is actually one of the few ults that have, it's actually the ult that has the highest win conversion rate.
Really?
Yeah. So the fact that they got it on the bonus round, I mean, it was pretty likely that they were going to win. And, you know, sprinkle on top a little bit of some cheesy plays, you're going to come out.
Hey, today I learned that. That's very cool to know, right? If you're going to, if you're at home funneling orbs into somebody, funnel it into your Harbor and rip those ultimates off as quickly as you possibly can. So while it looked like it was, you know, on the precipice of being disastrous for NRG, again, just referencing the halfway point of that map, they get the map win. We go to map 2. We're going to take a look at the Aim Lab shoot-around. It's Boostio who we're checking in on, and I'm excited that we're looking at him because, again, when it came to that 8-4 first half, he felt like the tip of the spear in a lot of ways.
He really did. He was having a lot of impact, and he was playing aggressive, too, on a supportive role. He's going to be on a supportive role again here on Split, right? He's not one of those 2 duelists previously in the EG comps. It's just really what can EG cook up on their attack half, right? When they struggle, I find it's always from their attack halves. They can put together these big defensive halves, but for example, when they took out Loud on Split, if you look back to that game, their attack half was insane. It was filled with so many anti-strats and cool little plays. I felt like that was missing a little bit on Bind, but that was NRG's pick.
Yeah, Valen, talk to me about Split as we turn our attention towards it. Again, it's EG's map choice. Tells me they got something in the arsenal to bring out here. What do you think it is?
Yeah, personally, I think this is EG's best map, even from like scrims when we play them. Even when I watched their match versus Loud, like that was a very convincing win for them. And NRG at the same time is also very good at Split. So it's going to be a very exciting match. I think it's going to heavily rely on can the duelist pop off, because they're both running double duelist comp. They're both going to have the dives, but which duelist is going to be able to take, especially the Jet duelist, like on the op, who's going to be able to actually take their team to the end, who's going to be able to get the first bloods. We'll see.
Speaking of those team comps, I think we're about to dive in here to the Agent Select to find out what we'll be running with. Don't expect to see too many surprises from either squads, but we have to do our due diligence, of course. Who knows? It is the final regular season match of the year, right? Like, if you're gonna bring something a little wild out, throw a left hook at your opponent, you know, this would be the time to do it.
This would definitely be the time. And I'm curious what you think about this, Valen. They're probably gonna do this double duelist into EG, right? And in my eyes, the win condition for NRG in that last map was the stall. It was the util. It wasn't so much the raw gunfights from like the duelists per se that were winning them those rounds on Bind. So their win conditions here on Split are totally different than what we just saw on Bind.
Yeah, I would say that because they're running the double duelist, they're actually kind of playing into EG's card just a little bit, because EG, I find them to be more successful versus the teams who play a bit quicker, maybe a bit loose, because that's kind of familiar with their style. So I would say NRG is kind of playing into their hand. At the same time, the architecture of Split kind of allows for that double duelist. You don't need as much stall because it's actually a lot of group fights, 3-manning towards A, mid, or even, you know, 2-man taking B with the Raise. So there's a lot of combinations you can do that you don't actually need as much stall, and that's why this comp has been meta right now. So I'm excited to see how EG deals with NRG's mix-up of fast plays and slowing the game down.
Well, there you have it. We've matched the picks 1 for 1 across the board as each of our teams get ready to do battle one more time here on the VALORANT VCT stage. Let's find out if EG can get this one to map 3 as we send it back to Van Stilly and Rib for the call.
Thank you, Dash. Indeed. Now we move into Split, and I feel that they've definitely put that, they've set it up very well here for Valen and for Sean Garris. When we're looking at this matchup here for EG, it seems as though the playstyle for NRG might fit into what we're expecting out of this team. But I don't know, man. It's still NRG. We've seen some great stuff coming out of Victor last time that they had to play some Split, right?
I do feel like this as well comes, agree, but comes down to that boostio, that finesse call. What's happening for these two who will be controllers, but lurking and trying to give that info. Right now in this first, I don't know if we're going to see too much lurking for first round. All 5 members of NRG here ready to, looks like, take a bit of heaven control and see if they can get themselves up ramp here to waterfall in. Unless they just decide sight. Artist may say sight. Victor's going to be right behind him.
Deciding for a sight indeed. Artist at the forefront, followed quickly behind is Victor. As a first blood still comes in for EG. Johnny will play from hell, dropping 2 of his own. That spike down as well. And Victor's low on HP, out for the swing. Changmo did a solo hold. That's all you need. It spikes out in the open. Artist looking to clutch a 3 versus 1. Everybody closed in for EG on a crossfire setup. Now, as Artist leans out, Calm gets the kill. And that's the pistol once again for EG.
That's so cool. I feel like if there's a player to make that and understand the duelist entry, it's Jogamo. He says, oh, that's the blast pack. 2 players are in. This is the distance I have to work with. Dives right down into hell with a frenzy and starts making quick work of NRG's extra members coming into the site. Smart play there from the duelist against the duelists. So NRG's first strat, very quick into that site. Victor and Artist staying true to them being together on these entries, and we may just flop to the other side. Now Finesse is on that lurk ability roll. And really spread out line of scrimmage here for Evil Geniuses.
Yeah.
For defense.
And apologies, this is EG's first pistol round of the series. Last time when they were playing with pistols in the second round, they converted into a Thrifty, but this time around, they're looking to convert their pistol back into a convincing second round win. And that's already 2 players down, both duelists for NRG dropped, being Victor and Artist.
And it's weird too that it's only their, like you said, first pistol, their second in defensive pistol win in the league. So for them to have lost on Dust, or Dust fucking Bind, saying Dust.
It is a dusty map, yeah, for sure.
That just becomes it's so wild for them. Now they get it back. They're feeling a little bit more of their own stats and believe in them here as they pick up that pistol and they pick up the second round. Now, can they get the bonus is the question, or the NRG run away with it? Low buys. EG's not saying we needed Phantoms on second round. We needed these buys. It's just going to be the Spectres with that Bulldog coming in here from Demon 1. And another B to A strat, or 4-1 strat for NRG on attack.
Concealment.
This time they put stars mid. Boostio still wants to push out. Early information grab. Trying to be helpful. 10 HP for Demon 1 on that peak.
Dashing away too out of that one. Was looking for an ADS off that Bulldog to get the pick off onto Victor. Only did a bit of damage there. Trying to at least fake out an orb pickup to force a peek out. But Demon 1 decides to fall back instead, get the heal out from Ethan. 3 players now grouped up on B Heaven on defense.
Great guiding light.
So we're fighting back towards mid. Crashy somehow lands up 2.
Player standing.
Ooh.
And that's middle now open.
Really cool thought there from Evil Geniuses, though. Have 3 going towards Heaven as Ethan's guiding light came around. Jogamo trying to make quick work of this, though, to get a Vandal in his hands. But yeah, NRG were not fooled by the guiding light and re-push towards mid. They're telling Sam, play contact off me. He gets a quick peek in, though.
Some decide to go for the jump peek instead.
There it is, yep.
And that's the bait for Jogamo to walk out and get picked off by Victor on the side.
Yeah, important jump at least for Sam there, so they didn't have to look towards spawn, confirm that he didn't rotate away, but still contact on Victor. 3, 2, and 1 as they just start getting a surplus of those ult points in play. And there is the result of that flash play towards B main and then push mid for Evil Geniuses. NRG ready. And they're expecting quite a few pushes, it seems, on those eco rounds. So they're anti-eco. Really, really great there to make sure Evil Geniuses did not control the middle of the map. NRG has seen a peak or pressure towards this B main side, and it looks like they want to fight it every time. Why not? Like we said, top of first kill percentage in the league. They can find them. Artis is going to try here, and Victor's right behind.
Nice little snake bite on the ground with the Gravwell to split off the attack, allowing Colin to pick up the kill. First blood into the round, even pushing NRG away. Having to refocus the control of the map. NRG are pulling back with finesse. And as you mentioned, Riv, NRG putting a lot of these rounds on the attack, working on control on B main to start, but this is slightly different from when they played against Loud. When it was against Loud, it was, okay, push 3 players up towards A ramp, up towards A ramp.
Yeah,
so
it was a 3-2 across the map,
exactly.
right?
So we're keeping EG guessing, but EG still guessed correctly to allow for them to get the first blood in the round, and even, look at that timing, the flash, getting information. It's gonna get both players in the A side ready now for EG.
I wonder how much that moves them. That could just be finesse in most cases, but they, yeah, EG still keeping the same defense. Cut sound from NRG, and here we go. Seeker's out. This is going to be the rotation over, but NRG are already in a great spot.
Looks like Crouch just got saved by the Seekers, picking up 2 kills. Jogimo can support for the trade against Demon 1, and already the A site has been opened up.
Spike planted.
We're on an even 2 versus 2 into this round.
Oh, flashies for crashies, too.
And looking for the quad. Gets it right away.
Doesn't even need the flash. Playing contact everywhere out with the quick swings. I say quick swings, but just shift holding on the swing. And that's going to be 2 right back in favor of NRG. This round, I think EG compiles a lot of those ultimates, figures out how they'll be best used. I love this play from NRG. Finesse calls to re-rotate the map all the way around. Don't mess with mid. Sure, EG had control of that last time. And then they get it to 2 ramp, 2 in that lower alt orb area, and get Seekers off. So close. So Seekers are going to actually go so far through the map with the positioning. Just a lot of things being thought of right now by NRG to get the maximum potential out of what they're trying to put into the map. Quick tech pause coming out. Hopefully quick tech pause. I'm not going to curse it, I promise. Into the map, and we'll see what round 5 provides for us. It is going to be NRG having to worry about those ultimates coming up for EG soon, but I feel like once NRG has momentum so far from what we've seen in this series, the ultimates don't seem to matter that they're competing against.
Yeah. So in terms of resolving a mouse issue here onto the stage before we can continue this matchup.
Got to clean the mouse ball off,
exactly.
You know? It gets dirty.
Definitely going old school.
Yeah.
If we're going to have to do that. I don't know if many of the people in the crowd knows what the ball mouse is.
Probably not. It's okay.
That said, though, at least from what we've seen in the first 4 rounds of this matchup, definitely has been what Valen's been talking about on the analyst desk. For NRG Zen on the attack, there's been moments where working out really quickly, trying to go for a double dive into the ace on pistol. Converted into a round for EG instead, though, because they lost a lot of players with that commitment into the site. But then they went for a dash into the B site. The rounds have been really good for EG. Getting these 2 rounds for them has been readapting off a player disadvantage, reworking the map, working it very slowly, and then catching EG off these positions where they're caught off rotates and not winning first duels.
Right. In Bind, we didn't see it as much until the second half, but we mentioned this would be a lot of Finesse and Boostio kind of button heads, what strategies are going to work, and it seems like Finesse here, when they're on the attack side now, continues to be able to dissect his opponents, hit the lower number site, take just long enough, give him time, as he said. That's what they needed, was time. Time to get back on the rolls, but also time for him to make the correct call. That's all he wants. Simple man. Simple man. And he keeps those emotions down so he can keep the frags and calls coming. What's Boostio peering at? Oh, he's looking at the cameras, the fans.
He's smiling. That's the important thing. So despite this being a very important series for EG, where it should have a lot of pressure, Boostio's still having a lot of fun with this. He's shaking and waving to the crowd. Crowd answers back. It's good times here in the Riot Games Arena. And it's been good times on that first series when we've witnessed such an incredible third map between Sentinels and Furia that went into I don't know how many OTs at this point. I can't even count that high.
Yeah, most we have seen so far. That's what you got to call it. Also, great call on the water check earlier. I like the hydrate checks. You can't get enough of those.
Yep. Paid actor by Tarek. Welcome to the arena. For myself, I'm going to call out Tarek. He got rid of my mod. I'm now just a VIP. Come on, little bro.
Oof, oof, oof.
Well, while we wait here for the match to resume here as we're trying to fix out the mouse issues, today's matchup between Evil Geniuses and NRG is a battle between IGL's Boostio and Finesse. And we asked the former his thoughts on the competition, so let's check it out.
Yeah, playstyle-wise, I'll say we're not that similar, but they have a very good game plan on attack. I think FNS is still probably one of the best IGLs in the league. He's very smart. So it's going to be a hard match, but I think we are going to match up well against them.
And that's a good thing, too, though. One person that I want to talk about exactly is Boostio, not only with the smiling and waving with the crowd here, but also how he's stepping up right now as an IGL. There's been a lot of these moments at the beginning of the season where, you know, people were doubting his IGL roles, his IGL role and how he could call EG on the attack.
Let's go.
Usually doing very good on defense for EG of what they could cook up. Now, of course, as I say that, they've lost like 8 rounds in a row on Bind before.
All right.
But he could definitely go toe-to-toe against Finesse right here. And as we resume the game, thank you for your patience. And Eco coming out for EG. Nardis opens things up.
Ooh. One of the more aggressive anti-ecos that we've seen, and
My ult's ready.
Demon One's not going to stop that anywhere. Goes right for the head of Finesse, and that has been the lurk that has gotten NRG so much information or space as Finesse gets into positioning. So they're guarding the weapon for now. If it's still there, they know they can cover the area. And they want to clear Demon One back. So they're retaking the control of the space. They know Altover's gone. So is Demon One.
There's an opportunity for Demon One to pump up his knives, but he was really counting on how crispy his first shot of the Sheriff was.
Yeah.
Maybe activate him on the dash away. But with that mistake, no, calm, okay?
Whoa, huge damage.
Got a few. But it's up to Boostio with a Sheriff of his own.
Still a possible round. No flashes up yet for
Spike
Crashies.
planted.
If Boostio can make quick work of this space, the Sheriff's going to make it more tough, but he can find a way, or a gun on the way down. Yeah, it looks like they've calmed that to him.
The closest one he wants to take here is going to be in front of A-Ramp. Right at the entrance of the site. Has 1 star available, just saw Crashies, but no information on where Artis is at, and he gets the off angle out from screens. Good eco damage done by EG nonetheless, but it's still NRG now, this time with the lead in the game.
Maybe we get some dueling Blade Storms now, as Demon One would love to switch the way this map works. Operator as well for Demon One coming out now, so EG reaching into the pockets of this economy in a much needed round. NRG grabs this, they run away with a few more easily on another anti-eco that they've been playing safe. Even that was a different look with Artis pushing up mid. Usually NRG hasn't been putting themselves in dangerous positions like that to start it off. It's the feud towards B, Finesse towards A, and they work the utility out before they get those kills. So nicely switched up on this round to play full contact right up the mid. And Artis able to open up both sites as they get in, and the third kill to end the round. From Sage to Jet, it does not matter. Quick tap pause as we get that mouse issue fixed up here. And NRG probably feeling okay that these are happening, especially with the wins in their favor. They're getting not time to talk, but time to kind of relish in these wins, figure out for themselves what's really working.
Yeah. Positive thing out of EG from the last tech pause, though, is that, yeah, EG was able to come out strong and not being flustered at all by any of the tech issues that they've been faced with in the past few rounds. Some nice shots coming out here from Demon One, dropping 3 players out of NRG. So we're hoping that this continues on for the Evil Geniuses once we get back from this tech pause here. Once again, a little bit of a mouse issue, and it looks like it's
Ooh.
This is the best impersonation of Aspas I've ever seen from
yeah.
Jet.
Wow. Well, I mean, he wasn't talking in the last time out, so maybe he really did, you know, he's done.
That was
enough. Feels like the team has got it.
I was gassing him up last week because, man, Chet's been looking good, man. He's been having a good diet, chilling out here.
Yeah, a diet of wins. That
Pretty much.
looks like anybody look good.
Diet of wins, getting into playoffs. Look at those biceps.
Those are triceps, actually.
Oh, yeah, true.
See in the bottom.
I'm not good with
It's
biology.
Okay. It's okay.
Anatomy.
You could just say, that's a damn good beard. All right,
That's
we're going to be
good-looking, man.
heading back into the game now. Both teams on their win streaks. Like we said, it's about that time that both teams are ramping up towards the end of the season. It feels so good for a team to be hitting that point right now. EG on a 3-game win streak, NRG on a 4-game win streak right now, looking to make it 5. And just lock in that green monster for the win column.
Thank you once again. Chat for your patience as the action resumes into B site. Artist missing his right clicks. Busio getting the frag, and the showstopper now wasted out.
Got your trail.
A late lurk, as you can see,
Want to
Finesse
fight it?
inside the Viper's pit. And he's going to get the full timing behind his whole flank while the rest of the execution of energy goes inside this B site.
Spike planted.
Plant now for long. As Demon 1 has a sixth sense, they're still looking back. They're looking for the push out here from mid.
But it's coming from spawn.
Yeah, this is going to be such a deadly backstab. But Finesse has to hurry up because the showstopper comes out on the
Jogamo
defense
in.
for the retake. Jogamo with the first kill, trying to get some more ground position in the front of the B site.
Finesse, he's just
Crossfire
there.
now set up, and here's that flank for Finesse. Gets that first kill. Snake bite out as well.
Enemy remaining.
But still Jogamo. And that whole flank now fully denied. As a snake bite comes onto the ground of Calm, the defuse comes out, and EG, okay. EG answers back right away. That was a nice little fast retake from the Evil Geniuses.
Yeah, waterfall right into the site, and we said it would be huge once these ultimates came up. Jogamo being able to crash through the site is so big. I say it every so often, but when you're down in economy on split, it becomes so much harder to take a site. You don't have util to dump in before dropping in. It's usually very noticeable when a team is retaking. You got people dropping off the top of heavens, coming around the extremities. It's very easy to predict. So you lack util on those retakes, you're probably not getting the spike site. EG did a very good job to collapse down on energy with all the util they had there to get the game back to tied here in round 7. Mid pressure, a little different from energy. We've been seeing the 4-1 split with just Finesse over towards A. Time on each round. And now they look to source a little bit the utility that we just saw EG taking the site with so robustly.
EG's in a great position though. Yeah, there was a flash that went just behind the poison orb just to see if energy were pushed up behind that defensive poison orb. Sato Torch to get information on 3 players on mid. That's Calm just spraying through for the first kill, but Triada out by Finesse. Unfortunately here for Jogamo, Crossler plays was looking back towards Ramen.
Mid control.
And Seekers now looking for the information on a few. Yeah, you have a Viper's Pit that came out here, and we're cutting noise now for energy. But all of this, EG had great positioning from such a forward position from Demon 1 at the beginning of this round with that operator.
30 seconds left.
This is the time round. This is the round where Finesse is just masterminding. It's almost like a natural selection game. He's the commander, telling the troops to go everywhere and figure out what they need to do. Now they start to push into B here, still have the lurk in mid. They're trying to do this with the 2 members. Since it's 2v2, Boostio makes it a 3v2. Now a 2v2.
Busio still has his own mind game. They're running and hiding behind and around the Nebula to get the frag back. And the second one on the crash. He's the third into the round. The operator out gets the wall bang though. Som's down to 2 HP. Busio's trying to answer back.
He's made noise.
Heard the footsteps. Som's trying to play the off angle right there. Tap onto the spike.
Long range shoddy.
I mean, it's 2 HP. It's just gonna be Peppers. You know that stand up.
Yeah.
Now the star now comes down for Busio. Getting onto that spike to try to get it halfway, and Som just walks in.
At that point, it becomes such a tough call because you have to expect that Som made some distance up in that area. So the smoke is so scary to play behind. Just giving us a horror film right now. But Som does come up with a 2 HP there. That jump off too, just on the defuse, keeping it all quiet for the range he can make it happen to get into the face of Boostio. A huge round there from Sam to break it off even in favor of NRG. And that puts EG back on a low buy. They have not been able to string too many rounds together to surplus that economy. So everything NRG does from kills to round wins is just putting EG on the back foot. Now it's a fast one from NRG. First one we've seen just straight through heaven here, but they have to anti-eco this round still.
Different gear once again, shifted by NRG into the site. Pulse range with the shorty.
Hello.
This time Artis gets peppered up. The Victor answers right back, dropping down from hell. Looking for support as there's 2 players from EG. Through all of this chaos that's pushed out outside of B main.
Satchel out.
Sam has fallen back, now allowing Victor to move forward with Crashies.
Get out of default.
Numbers are finally dwindling down as right-click classics are coming through. Joggle picks up the Phantom.
1 enemy remaining. 1 enemy remaining.
Calm.
Calm in a 1v1! And Finesse saves it right there. Another close call for EG. Another thrifty that almost got converted in their favor. But NRG is still the team that stands up in the end.
They are forcing NRG to rebuy quite a few times. There's a light at the end of the tunnel for how these rounds are going for EG, but I don't know if NRG is just gonna basically create a painted wall for him in Looney Tunes and fake him out. These rounds for NRG look so clean once it gets to a point where they think, oh, this actually, EG is starting to outsmart us. We got to audible again, and then NRG clean up the round. Potter's seeing it. So close, just 1 kill away from a lot of these rounds here for Evil Geniuses. Trying to shore up that last bit of what they're doing.
Just trying to know if I understood sign language there with the back and forth that she's putting through. Is it on how they're trying to work the map? Are they over-rotating from back and forth of how they're currently playing split here for EG? Because throughout this first half, they've been 3 and 7 when they had the player advantage, 5 versus 4. So getting a lot of these first bloods, but just not able to hold the rest of their positions. It'll convert these into victories.
Yeah, the way that it's happening for Evil Geniuses in the site too is we see them playing in sight, which is scary versus double duelist, but they're not being able to get the post plan. So you almost want to be able to challenge NRG right in the beginning, having NRG get into the site, set up a post plant, and then try to retake just almost seems like an impossible task. So again, members are now up in sight for Evil Geniuses. A little bit less so on A as B is the heavy covered side of the map. Mid control for EG here. And the same setup for NRG in this 4-1, where Finesse lurks, and they allow B to be hit. A nice bit of delay to start here, but that means it could be a rehit after audio's cut, and NRG does not have that much to worry about in terms of util now.
And EG don't have too much to worry about at the beginning of this round. They had both duelists pushing down all the way down on mid. Both duelists being Demon 1 and
Good info.
But with that Trailblazer, potentially spotted Finesse. You see the rotate over from Ethan at the A site. Oh, Finesse trying to make some noise like he's pulling back here. Yep. All of NRG that were up towards B main have rotated all the way to spawn. So yes, it's a cut noise and a re-hit, but it's a re-hit into the A site.
He trolled him so hard.
Only Ethan is there and trying to delay with his own flash. Cosmic Divide to come out. That is going to be on the defense, just to prevent NRG from crossing that line and trying to get a plant into A. There's only 30 seconds left on the clock. There's that first blood coming out from Artis, though.
Got a waterfall.
Satchel in. Jogmo is hiding behind that wall. Wall's about to come down. And a surprise about to come through. He has to make a play. But it was awaited by NRG the whole time.
Look at the coverage for NRG now. Actually, one still goes down at A, but they have
the
that
time on this.
spawn.
They didn't look at Boostio moving outside to get the kill. But thankfully, Victor picks up the spike, goes behind the A side and gets the plant. Calm now, trying to go for a play. Trying to catch Artis from behind. Demon 1 with the dash does connect out to Artis, but then the swing out comes in from Finesse. And as the attack pings it across, they definitely know where Calm is at. So Finesse drops at the lower. The crossfire setup is there. The trade positioning is there for both remaining members of NRG. Com looks into the wrong angle, readjusts, but Finesse is still going to get the third into the round and the sixth for NRG.
NRG's re-hit becomes A site after seeing a bit of that utility at B and actually losing quite a few. They have had numbers up at the end of the round at A as well, so it even looks and feels more successful when they are hitting and winning that site. It's not just down to a single member. And I was saying that NRG had such a nice setup. 2 in sight, 1 heaven, 1 screen, 1 A main, and that's exactly what Boostio took advantage of. They were setting up that defense, and he comes flying out. You can see Evil Genius is trying to pressure these moments, almost getting the answer, but in the moment, NRG finding a way to still win the round. A quick glance onto the arm of Ethan there as Artis playing this one a little bit more contact. And one of the first times we see Artis and Victor split up for a round, so you can tell how much longer this one will be until we get that spike picked up and pushed forward by NRG, playing a lot of time on this.
And now we're going back to the first time we actually see what NRG's been doing against the match against Loud.
Right, this is that 3-2 split that they love.
And the control comes in, Showstopper out from Jogimo.
Dashed.
Nice little dash away, forces out the Showstopper early. And all 3 members pulling back at the entrance of A site. Meanwhile, both players of NRG that also have the spike are moving in with them as well. But for EG, there's no hesitation, no over-rotation. 3 players still holding it, stacking up towards the A site. And unfortunately, Jogimo falls first. Utility being used. Both players now for EG playing very close behind the wall. And as it comes down, are looking for an early punish. NRG falls back though. Wall's about to come down. Demon 1.
My ult's ready.
Nice pick off by Artis. Denies Demon 1 on the position at A Heaven. Ethan in the back of the site with the Stinger. And with the amount of times that they had the Showstopper and these Stingers in these
10
plays,
seconds left.
they couldn't hold in the end with the lower buy that they had.
The info checking while NRG is still pushing. Sam was back in spawn as they were walking up ramp, reassuring the team that looking forward is all they had to do. They turned back from B towards A after getting after Jogimo's Showstopper gets out, and that's the first kill, so you don't even have to deal with paint shells. Like, NRG is so clean on this round to call that mid round after the Showstopper from Jogimo was dashed out by Artis, who now has Blade Storm for next round.
My ultimate is ready. Last player standing.
This is what NRG's trying to stop a little bit of, is lose their members at the end of the round. Shouldn't be a ninja defuse as Finesse comes back for the shots. But yeah, they're still going down, but making it work.
Still a clean shot.
7-3.
That's still a clean shot no matter what. And thankfully, Finesse was actually right there as they were pulling away from the spike going off. But yeah, definitely, it's been moments here now for EG where just the positioning is always good. But the duels are definitely coming out in favor of NRG. Looking much stronger now on a map like Split. A very slow start that they had on Bind. But everything just seems to gel since the defensive half of Bind.
Insta Cosmic Divide. Here we go, Vansili.
Showstopper out for Victor. Big flash coming through.
Oh, blind.
That's a Showstopper that lands in the front, but still right click connects now onto Ethan, but Demon runs out of heaven. Dropping 2 of his own, advantage back for EG. And that foils the plan of NRG trying to flood into the A site.
And this mid coverage by Viper's Pit has to be taken. It looks like Sam wants to try and creep in, or at least get an audio cue on where Com might be as NRG resorts themselves on this round. Just off his peripheral vision. Crashies does not see the Hell player. Demon 1 gets to stay safe for now, and they reset up a pretty default A hold. Let's see if they can pinch this Viper's Pit in mid.
This could be a fake right here, though. Wall comes up, snake bite down. Flash, another one's available to try to get it into Mail.
Oh, the teamwork just to get Sam through.
Oh, Sam just dropped, though. That's audio cues. Getting Demon 1 ready once again. Perked up behind map to look up towards heaven. 30 seconds left on the clock.
30 seconds
Trying to
left.
force EG once again to do any over-rotates, any mistakes on their positioning. And there's that ADS coming through. And finally, Demon 1 connects.
3 bullets.
Down to 6 HP. Jogimo trying to get a timing through the smoke to support his teammate. Finesse, meanwhile, though, trades it back onto Demon 1, who he himself was able to get the 4th kill into the round, but the spike is so far up. This is going to be a round for EG. Guaranteed at this point with the spike going down.
Yep.
Lots of patience play from both of these teams.
Stalling out NRG, much like NRG did on Bind to Evil Geniuses. Every time
Last
AD
round
tried to hit
before the
something, they could not move. Huge by Demon One to get those few opening kills. It's actually been a quick kill there. It's the entry into the site, and for NRG just becomes secured with the plant. You have to respect the rotations there. And the first time Evil Geniuses take early map control with that Viper's Pit, right? It doesn't allow the movement that NRG wanted. They had to go back for Sam rather than instantly take the site. So A was even more prepared for that coming in, and you get even more from Demon One in those tight situations. Straight up mid to mail room. Special delivery from Victor.
Stunned up though by a Nova Pulse left on the ground at mail. Boombot to try to clear out the space. And it looks at the beginning that EG wants to add a lot of heavy pressure up towards Heaven. Nice little snake bite though from Calm. Continuing great utility to anchor out from Mail and B main. And that forces out an early regrowth from Crashies. Jiggle peek now. Calm gets picked off. Or at least gets spotted. And off of his position as he falls back towards Heaven. Look at his flank though.
Oh, it's so big. This is going to be a Viper's Pit round 2. If they can actually find finesse in this flank, it becomes even bigger. Oh, just misses.
The timing of all of that. Demon One thought that he had that timing as FNS or Finesse rotated across, spotted his opponent, and just made things hell for Demon pretty much to try to get that kill. Calm, meanwhile, answers back onto Crashies. 30 seconds left on the clock. Pit coming out on the attack towards B. Now recall down and everything's denied on A ramp. All of this for a fake on B. Beautiful hold for Ethan so far. Seekers to spot the last player being Artist up towards A Heaven. With 15 seconds left. It's good enough for Joggimo to get the backstab from A Heaven, and EG still manages to salvage 5 rounds into the first half.
Switching
That's
sides.
huge for the way this first half looked for NRG, for EG to be able to get those back in the rounds where they were getting the first kill and being able to just dwindle down NRG's numbers. It came down to the 1v1 fights, and NRG was just crushing on those on Bind. It looks like Evil Geniuses found a bit of their way here to start getting those back in their favor. Big plays by Demon One, Boostio as well through these comms, and the rest of the team.
And with that, we're going to toss it onto the floor with Mimi and a sideline report.
Thanks very much, Vansili. At the first half here, I was listening in with the comms from Evil Geniuses, and despite being down 5-7 at this half, they still had some good things going for them. When you listen to this team, Boostio's the IGL, but Ethan is adding a lot in the mid-rounds for this squad. He's calling out the micro, keeping the team focused on what ults are available, what the opponent could be doing, and helping to enable Demon One in the mid-rounds. Still, in the late rounds throughout that half, NRG was getting away with a lot of scrappy rounds. The 1v1 clutches, 2 of which were won for the side of NRG. It can be a pretty tilting experience, but this team has an emotional leader, again in Ethan, helping to keep them calm, keep them focused, and when they get the timeout in from Potter as well, that's another thing that can help them a ton. When she gets her voice in the mix for these timeouts, she's talking a lot about the vibes, helping to keep the team focused, keep the mental good, while also paying attention to things that NRG are doing consistently and helping to find that adaptation. Still though, it's down to 5-7, but this is a double duelist composition here. And while you might look at this and you think that Joggimo, being the more experienced player, tends to be more vocal, it's actually Demon One who I noticed adding a lot of ideas, working with Ethan to find the gap on that jet roll. So we're looking to see that same kind of proactivity for this Evil Geniuses squad if they want to run it back. But it is 5-7 at the half. NRG are up, and for EG, they will have to find that rally. If not, their season hopes are out of their hands. I'll hand this one back on over to Vansili and Rivington to close out map 2.
Thank you so much, Mimi. Excellent sideline reporting here.
Yeah.
And that is definitely something that Potter has mentioned before too, where, you know, when it comes down to these games, she's already flushed out the strategy for EG of what they wanted to bring into the game versus their opponents to start things off. And it comes down to the 5 players in the server, the experience from Ethan, the calling from Boostio, and now the rookie coming into this roster being Demon One, being vocal as well to try to find these openings. Hopefully they could find it now in their attack.
And I can believe him when he said during their last game he wasn't calming much because he was just going forward. But it's awesome to hear that he is becoming a voice in these games where everybody's needed. That's so cool. Demon 1 definitely getting into the mix so EG could help to get those 5 rounds. And they could be big.
Ooh.
EG's aggression here.
Trying to get
Not
into the
be
mix
tempered.
now. 3 players looking to fight down towards Vents.
Waterfall.
There's that drop, but it's Frenzy's across.
Okay.
2 for 2. Thankfully, we had the numbers advantage for EG, so the trades are perfect. Cobb now moving up to try to move in with Busio to get control into A Heaven. You just heard an orb being picked up as well. Or at least it was tapped, trying to bait out some shots, but nothing rings out from NRG as of yet.
Obscuring vision.
Interesting smoke coming out here as we're now gonna move into spawn. Som is waiting there with his own ghost. Deniability. Trying to keep NRG guessing, trying to keep NRG towards the A site. EG are gambling back towards B here, Riv. We're currently... There's nobody holding it.
30 seconds left.
Just saw him win and play the retake game.
Yeah, guiding light for Crashies. If they want to get a flash in, it'll be matched. So not a lot of util here. This is going to come down to the gunfights of the pistol. Slow take into sight. And that's actually going to be knowledge from Som. Som can alert the team. And we see this finesse rotation coming through mid a little bit
10
faster.
seconds left.
Has to be a safe plant now. As Calm is up towards B Heaven. Gets a nice timing out. Now vulnerable from a gravity well. A double swing out towards spawn. A flash. It's a fake flash, and Som lines it both up! Busio and Ethan falls. And it's up to Calm on a 3 versus 1. Now spotted by Finesse once again. Holds back towards the pillar. There's the flash, fully blinded. Som is crashing in with Crashies, who gets that kill. And that's NRG with the 3rd pistol of the series.
Som, the hero of the round. Was that a single tap? Oh my gosh.
Possibly, yeah. It looked very
it
clean.
sounded like it, just a swoop. And we saw 2 fall in an instant. The fake flash looked really well. What a smart play. Who wouldn't turn from it? But Som knew he had enough time for it to go off. And overall... Okay, quick double. Quick double. It was just so fast. Got our aim lab shoot around for a 2nd time today. And a pistol round again for NRG. They do not make this easy for the side of Evil Geniuses at all. Right towards mid is going to be a Marshall, so that will be supported. And look at NRG try to take this space. Right towards B goes the Evil Geniuses, though. They're trying to react just as fast as what else might be happening on the map. Busio with a very fast shot towards Vent, right from sewers.
1v1 towards mid. That's Artis.
Quick 101.
Marshall to do the full damage. Now that's no main smoke coming out for EG anymore for our plant. So you have to be on point here. Name of the game to salvage the Sheriff. Try to bring the fire back in their favor, and that's Calm picking up the Sheriff left behind by Busio.
Crashy's actually doing a personal check on A, so he has 2 flashes left still. After seeing that nobody was at that alt orb, they reposition for a quicker rotation, but still protection on A as they hug with Vent. Getting ready for this 2nd hit onto B. 1 lurk through mid, coming in from Calm.
Head-to-head, close range. There's that Spectre. Good util. Allowing EG to overtake the B site.
Big from Calm here.
Spike planted.
Crash is now moving back. You mentioned that position from Calm.
Yeah.
Had that Sheriff. No damage done. As Artisan Crashies now with a Spectre and Frenzy up against low weaponry for the last 2 players. Make that the last player who only has a classic of EG. And again, it's that same storyline, Riv. Every time we have these Thrifties, EG are definitely doing a good job to do some damage. But
Right.
at the end of the day, you need those rounds coming in, and they're not picking those up.
Yeah, if that's any indication, first half was any indication, and we go round for round, EG doesn't last very long here. They were getting reset quite a bit and then still not finding a way through NRG's attack or how to defend it on their buy rounds. So insta resets almost all the time. Where do they go here? What is the buy? Full around, full armor, full phantoms. They're going to be looking to get some sprays in and try to capitalize on even if they cannot see NRG. And like you said, A lot of energy members down. They're on sheriffs. This is a huge round for Evil Geniuses to get the bonus. If they don't, Energy is just playing on a different level right now.
Yeah. Yeah, not converting this round here for EG against Energy's lower buy for their bonus is definitely one loss.
Too many.
Yeah, and that will break the morale in my eyes here for EG at this point, so you have to make some sort of play. Meanwhile, it's Energy trying to make a play. Trailblazer to get information on Comms Lurk, or picked up for Crashies, which allows him to get a Seeker within the next 2 rounds. Meanwhile, though, for EG, understanding that pressure coming up from A side.
So cool by EG. Up towards mid, leave that control and vent and go for a re-hit on the site, so you have more of a 2-and-2 and a double-sided attack. Still alert coming in from Comm, and he'll start to push up on his area as well.
The Trailblazer forced some positioning out here from Energy, stacking out towards B. And now as you have an early rotate back towards the A side, is it too little too late?
Yeah, 30 seconds is pretty crazy to still have the bomb in deep lower mid.
And there's more pressure being done.
30 seconds
Finesse
left.
went for a jump peek and saw 2 at the bottom of mid rather.
Here we go.
Ooh. Storm just got damaged down to 10 HP, so he got dinked by a Phantom there, and Finesse, though, still gets the kill onto Busio. Storm thinks he has a timing.
Delayed?
He thinks he has a timing, but there's still a player in Vance, and that's Crash. He's falling back. There's 10 seconds left on the clock. He has a flash. Here comes the rest of the room.
They're never gonna make it.
You didn't see Calm coming through. 5 seconds. 4 seconds. But there's still Crashies out there. It saves the round for Energy.
Down A.
Overcooked just a little bit there. EG didn't get the info that they wanted. It looks so good with how they set it up. 2 in mid, and then you rotate back for the last 3 into a line of scrimmage again, so you don't get hit by a guiding light. Wherever you decide to go actually becomes super aggressive with those 2 in vent, and they abandon that strategy to come back to it and then finally go through vent again. Just, they could not choose which fork in the road, and they got stuck behind Energy. Great job there, and the bonus does not go for EG. Insta timeout being called here. Maybe a grace to that round was a few weapons were saved as it timed out, and they were able to save themselves. But yeah, Energy have to feel good that their defense is promoting that kind of action out of their opponent.
This is also scary, though, here, Riv, because this is the second bonus round converted by Energy in this series, and the second time that it happens on round 15. And remember when that happened, when they were playing on Bind?
Yeah.
It was very one-sided. Thankfully, we have an opportunity to look at the economy that we have from EG so far during this timeout.
Right.
It's still going to be a full buy. So this timeout being called by Potter, super important. They've done a great job getting information, getting space up towards mid here, Riv.
Yeah.
But this is all fake information. Energy are playing out towards these extremities. They're denying EG on positioning through either of these sites on Area B.
It's just super smart play. We mentioned Crashies, knowing it was a round he could push up, get info on A. They're being able to source the extremities pretty easily, I think, and get the info that allows Energy that knowledge that they can anchor the sites. A lot more control over towards A as Energy predicts an A strat. Just a solo artist with an operator and B main to hold here. And EG are going to try and tempt mid. A few members on EG have 2,800. They're on max bonus money, so it is a buy round for EG next round. They're going to need to get all the kills within these next 2, though, to keep it going and get that money back for NRG down into the lint in their pocket. Round 16. EG is actually playing this one similar to the last round with that pressure towards vent, but it looks like they have the idea that B will be the full rush on this one.
We're waiting for Ethan's flash to be ready
operator.
Will it be a flash to try to clear the corner first, or a walk contact? So far, all falls in favor for Artist for the first blood, but he
misses.
Yeah. Falling back now into the B site. Still is going to decide to give it up after all. EG now moving in. Energy looking to play the retake game. Big util, big seekers for the ultimate for Crashies 2 to allow the retake to happen, and it's already being pulled out. Finesse catching Giacomo off guard, going for a battle of the century against Demon 1, who finally gets avenged by Victor. Player advantage comes back, but Calm has something else to say. A 2v2 now. Art is looking to retake with the operator. flash to come out. No ground gained here on the retake. Calm playing the off angle. The swing out here from Artis. Calm going for the 1v1. Cannot get it against Crashies. It's up to the stack, onto the spike, and Ethan gets the headshot right there to save it for EG.
The pillar. If you were talking about EG for this one that we talked about before, you remove that piece of Ethan and everything comes crumbling down, but he still stays standing to keep that structure alive for EG. And that, again, is a very big round. A little more money flows into the pocket here of Evil Geniuses.
I've got your
and they
tray.
start to work on that economy of energy that NRG had been using to play a little aggressive, add a little flavor. And we get some of that from Demon 1. Bladestorm, shorty for Demon 1 here. Straight ahead goes Jogamo. Still a rotation over by Boostio to come in on the flank. We'll have to watch what he does. NRG's not even giving up that much utility to this aggression. A shot towards screens, and Demon 1 opens up the round.
Looks like it was an updraft looking back at the elbow. So Victor falls. Seeker's coming out on the attack. And they'll notice there's only one player inside A. Allowing EG to flood in. Can Crashies hold his ground for a bit? There's that first delay with the first flash, second one inside the smoke. Now with the timing, the spray across, and Demon drops him. Meanwhile, though, Boostio did get the kill onto the rotate from Finesse. And that might be it for the last two players of NRG. They'll fall back. Save these weapons into the next. You talked about it, Riv. They had to get a lot of kills in the next 2 rounds. Lower the economy of NRG, and then they've done just that.
Right, you're looking at what? This is the second round NRG you lose, 2,400 there. To Crashies, 35. You know, 35 again for Finesse, so could be armor low buy. But it is going to be a tough one here as Evil Genius is starting to mount a comeback at NRG's 10 rounds. So close to closing out this game. Com comes up with another kill there, and a flawless round would be even bigger for Evil Geniuses here. That'll look really good on the stat sheet, and I cursed it.
Still good enough.
Still good enough for sure.
Putting Artis down to 50 credits at the end of that round. This is definitely an eco for NRG moving into this round.
Tough stuff there. Down to Stingers, down to Spectres. They'll call a timeout. Chet kind of sees the flow of the game ebbing in towards Evil Genius's favor, and he wants a word with the squad. Ooh.
That was nice.
See, I think that's what we've been lacking from Evil Geniuses. Those quick peaks, we kind of see them getting. The quick outsmart of your opponent just based on the fundamentals, the firefights. Yeah, that's a big one. The Geniuses family very happy at the watch party. And we've seen a lot of emotion from Com today.
Oh, definitely. I mean, he clutched, what, a 3 versus 1 on Bind before, doing this one over here, doing his job, exactly. Ooh. This game is important for Evil Geniuses, and they know it. And that said, when you're looking at how Evil Geniuses are playing their attack so far, this timeout being called by Chet, maybe identifying the amount of lurks that we're getting, not only from Boostio, but also from Com. How do you shut these 2 players on extremities? Do you want to try to push a little bit more? You've now focused and identified where Demon 1 is. And if where Demon 1 is, and, you know, Mimi talked about it during the silent reporting, there's usually Ethan behind right there with, with the Sky plays.
We mentioned before, both teams play a very similar style of creating a maximum amount of space for their duelists. That means safety. That means at the time, the lives of the duelist mean more, and they will get more to be able to produce results. We heard that from chat, and you can't imagine that EG plays much different with what Demon 1 has talked about, and Jogamo being right there as well on the Rays. And mirror compositions not being played the same, but very close. We are getting that 7-10 scoreline. Oh, push up again.
Gets at a headshot, dashes away, so that refreshes the knives. Makes it a 4v4. Still a showstopper is available for a Victor 2. Keep that in mind as EG, after the initial burst, is holding it behind. And Artis, it was his turn to overcook a little bit, going back towards mid as the smoke dissipated and got picked off. And like I said, keep this in mind right here. EG now grouping up together on a player advantage.
Can they convert is the question, Vans. They have the rotation already coming around from Finesse, but they don't have numbers in the sight for NRG just yet. Just the knowledge that Victor could be swarmed at this point with that Stinger.
They decided not to put the star down. You want to play the contact. And as soon as it comes down,
1, 2!
Victor gets 2! 3! With the showstopper, connects on the Com!
No, he doesn't. No, he doesn't!
Boostio falls as well! NRG gets it
be a nail in the coffin. We'll see a buy coming out for Evil Geniuses, but a round like that, the momentum you get with the double duelist comp, oh my gosh. Standing tall, alone. Like I said, Victor had the comms from Finesse that this was going to be a swarm if he sees it. More than prepared. Just playing with his food over there. All right. EG now towards mid. Instantly stopped by a Viper Orb, as it's almost 3 members of NRG are ready to defend that middle side of the map. 2 Heaven and 1 on vent side. Nobody's in B this time. NRG in a in a great position to rotate, I should say. And look at the hold from Artis. He's pushed up with the op. So yeah, check mid, watch B, nothing A.
Exactly. That's why so many players of NRG could look for the pressure in to be okay to play the retake once again. And as the action dwindles down and quiets down on middle, finally NRG repositions themselves, but in a great spot, because once again, as you mentioned, the same thing Artis is doing here on A ramp, just like Demon 1 did before, shutting down one single angle.
All right, full B main. That makes it tougher. They're going to expect NRG to be coming through the Heaven, all sorts of angles here, since they cannot clear both entries to the site. It's just a file-in. Cosmic Divide down. They hope to block back sight as they are in Vansili. And that's a quick hit for Jogamo, but safety stays until they find Victor again.
No damage onto Victor, so they don't check the corner.
No shot.
Kills coming in. NRG looking to close up the series very quickly. One more kill to go to put them at map point. But Busio, 10 seconds left on the clock, still has something else to say. Picks up the spike, but it's still Victor.
4K into a 3K. Gosh, Victor wasn't exploding enough for you on Bind. Here he goes on Split. And we mentioned it a little bit. This map pool that EG picked into as well, Bind, was interesting, and then Split. Both teams have a great split, but NRG plays their split like they're Bind. It's that solid. It's incredible what NRG are able to come up with here at the end of the split and show it, or end of the split, yeah, and show us things that really we were not expecting. 12-7 here. Game point for NRG as they have rocked this second map. EG up mid looking for answers, and it might be to press the go button.
Oh, it was a nice grab well to pull Finesse, but unfortunate Satchels didn't connect, and out from the pillar. Stops the showstopper. As Demon 1 comes back with the tailwind, dashing away to spot 2 players up there at B Heaven.
Pushed off the repeat.
The rest of EG out towards B main, stopped by Nebula, rotating over back on mid. If it's a mid to A, I mentioned it before, there's still Artis there at the A ramp with the operator, doing it once again.
Demon 1 already trying to source a few fights himself after that kill. Finding Finesse. And now he has to be the spear. No dash there. Guiding light just up here for Ethan. Get a flash around the corner, but they want to use that for sight, so they contact as far as they can.
And the flash is...
Artis even more pushed up, too.
out from Crash. He's getting information right there on Mail and B main. Star getting ready to delay even more. There's 35 seconds left on the clock. Counter flash out from EG. Putting Crashes away again. It's the angles from the bottom. Everybody's falling. And it's a stronghold from EG. A strong fight from NRG as well, as they easily take the series over Evil Geniuses.
5 in a row for NRG. And what was it, 1 map along the way?
Yeah.
That we've seen in their recent series. They stopped the win streak of Evil Geniuses in its tracks. And the team just came together for that split matchup in map 2. Everybody playing strong. The amount of map positioning as well, I think, did not let Evil Geniuses have a strat that was unknown to NRG. Everything had some kind of information to it if NRG was making a move because of the extremity pushes that they had.
Yep. And like I said, giving them some false hope that they have good map control for EG on split on their attack. It comes down to the amount of utility that's still available for NRG in these late hits into the sites for EG. Positioning is always perfect. The read throw is very good, and being called out here by NRG to just overpower. And even when it's only 1 player, when the reads are correct for EG, you have to come up against a player like Victor to get these type of kills. Well, we've prefaced it before. Yes, this is a map that EG is comfortable to play against NRG because they won, what, a 13-3 against Loud before? But so did NRG. They themselves also had a very good map against Loud on Split. And that's because
Absolutely.
Victor just popped off as well.
We see Victor popping off almost every week now. Since the role changes, went back to comfort here for the side of NRG. Since that Cloud9 matchup, they said, yo, this is what we need to do. The fundamentals fell back into place, and huge rounds from Finesse on this one. I think the one round that comes back to me is the round I said trolling. When he puts up his wall, jumps away through sewers to create as much audio as possible for a backstep, and it's just one movement. The player it was Jogamo who rotated out, but he was in a different position on more of the back line of A, and it gave NRG all the space they needed. Those little things have to be looked at over and over again for NRG, that their map movement, their macro just out-positions their opponents every time.
Where's the 7th player from NRG in the fans there? Maybe you should have come down for that photo op there with Keith Bills as well, but definitely great plays by NRG, great reads overall. And what a turnaround for them from the mid-split into now, showing why they should have been considered that #1 team here in the Americas. Of course, there's battles there. There's discussions to do between them, between C9, between Loud. But definitely after this series, after the last few weeks, you definitely could put NRG right back into that conversation.
You really can. Looking at how this map played out for NRG, you thought if Evil Geniuses was on that upswing, they got it.
Yeah.
Ethan said, NRG's #1, we're gonna come swinging, right? Just a few weeks ago. Well, he was right. And a lot of teams know it right now. That's how strong NRG is.
Well, don't go anywhere. We'll have the desk analysis and the Verizon post-match interview with Victor right after this break.
Welcome back, everybody, to the Verizon post-match interview. I'm joined here by Victor, live in the flesh, fresh off the victory as well. Congratulations. My man, listen, the stakes in this match weren't too, listen, there was nothing too on the line for you guys, but you did upset Sentinels by winning here today. I don't know if you know that, by the way. You've upset a lot of Sentinels fans with this win today because they can't make playoffs anymore.
Shouldn't be here, right?
Yeah, listen, I mean, it might be enemy territory. I'm not too sure. But I want to talk about the series overall and the preparation you had coming into this one as well. Because, for your team, you're kind of locked into the top 6. Was your preparation, on this game at all, or are you looking forward to the playoffs as a team?
We definitely prepared for this game, same as every other game. Just because the stakes aren't as high, we still want to win. Yeah,
of course.
We're ultra competitive. Given our history last year, we just hate losing. We're not used to it. Yeah, that's why.
Yeah. I mean, with this win, you do lock in 3rd seed as well. It's yet to be known. I believe you play against the 6th seed, so that's still up in the air. Got to wait until the end of the matches for this week to find out who you play. But yeah, I mean, the 3rd seed, not too bad at all, not too shabby. But looking forward to as well, or taking a look at the series as a whole. Binder's the first map. It was a bit of a rough beginning for you guys, right? The 8-4 half, and it was looking like EG, it might have been on the cusp of something there. But there was a turning point. Halftime, you guys absolutely destroyed them. I mean, it was a one-sided affair. What was the comms like? What was the mental like as well during that moment when you were making that incredible comeback?
So one thing FNS likes to tell us before games is that even if we start down, he'll always say we can always come back. So it doesn't matter, guys. We know we're good. We know both of our sides, attack and defense sides, are good. So as long as we start off hot on the half and get the pistol, it's easy for us.
Yeah. No, I mean, you guys have tons of experience, with this core that you've got, taking all the way back to the optic core. And so you've been in that spot many times. But yeah, very impressive nevertheless. And it was dominance on Split as well as a map. Let's focus on you as an individual player, because I've been dead impressed with you this entire Split, to be honest, man. You've been playing lights out on a multitude of roles. Not only playing that hard duelist, but also the Sentinels occasionally as well, flexing onto other stuff. But what has that been like for you as a player? Does that change your preparation coming into games, knowing that, you might be playing Sentinel in some circumstances? Because it does change the way you play in terms of the rest of your team.
I would say I think the biggest part of that helped me was chat. Even if I'm playing different roles on different maps, he'll tell me, Vic, you need to do this when this guy does this, stuff like that.
Yeah.
So he just makes it really easy on me. The only thing I have to do is make sure I'm comfortable with the character, make sure my shot's on point, and make sure my utility is where it's supposed to be. So.
Yeah, I mean, it's quite trivial, apparently. But yeah, you're looking honestly red hot the whole time. NRG, you guys are on the up and up as well. Tail end of this split. Real quick as well, if there's any team that you guys want to play in playoffs, which team would it be?
I'm always down for another match against Cloud. It's always fun. I'd like to get revenge against Cloud9 in playoffs sometime, so maybe that. So, yeah.
Okay, well, looking forward to it. Hopefully you guys end up making it all the way there as well. And best of luck in playoffs, Victor, as well. Thank you for joining me. Congrats again on the win. That's going to do it for the interview. Let's send it back over to the desk to break down the series of the day.
Thank you so much, Bren. Sights are rightfully set on the teams above them in the standings as they continue their late season run. 5-0 in series score, most recently only having dropped one map, and they conclude it with another dominant 2-0 map win here in this one, Valen. What do you make of this roster and how they've turned it on here so late?
I mean, this roster has always been the one to come back in matches and, leagues, whatever. They just have a lot of experience, so even when they're down in the league, 1-3, they know deep down that they can always make a comeback happen. And it showed, and they've been looking phenomenal, really not even dropping maps, let alone series. And I'm excited to see this team go into this kind of form into the playoffs, because I think with this kind of form, they can definitely qualify for Tokyo. And who knows, maybe they win. I'm not going to say it.
I mean, it was an incredible run throughout the regular season for NRG. They started 1-3, and to get from there to now ending the regular season 6-3, they only lost a single map. They looked incredible, and this second map against EG was no exemption from that one. Well, it was a slow start on map number 1. Here they just got out to the paces early on. Even when the initial idea failed, they were winning so many of these late round clutch situations. It felt like they couldn't lose.
I mean, they really do look like the old NRG again, right? We lost them for a little bit at the start. Like you mentioned, 1-3 at the start of this season. To end 6-3, though, and the way they did it, changing their comps to get here, you know, the resilience, changing pace. They're running a double duelist comp this game, and what you're seeing on the screen right now is them completely slowing down the pace in this 9th round. And this is what they did all half, and EG was not ready for this. I don't think I've seen a double duelist split comp work the map so well over the course of the entire round, like NRG did here.
Yeah, and I want to give a lot of credit to Finesse, because the early call to cancel the B pop going back into A, and not only did they just kind of result into an A pop, they went and they took Heaven, which is very important in the late round situation, because one Astra stun or suck plus a nade can just cancel your hit and they all rotate, so they know they had to take the extra space. And even at the end with the post plant, they waited out the Astra wall. There's no rush. We got 20 seconds, everyone calmed down, waited the Astra wall, got the site, perfect post plant from them.
So FNS knows the person in sight is nested behind the wall. He knows the rotate's coming, so he orbs spawn and like weasels his way into screens to clear it out, and then comes back through his orb into Heaven. The whole round was just genius from FNS.
Perfect.
I think he's like maybe the best IGL in the league at like slowing things down when he needs to. Like he's just so adapted, even when there's low time on the clock, taking the time to clear everything that's needed. It never seems like NRG is rushing into things on their attacking side. It's just so considerate, so intentional every single round.
Yeah, and it's a lot of trust from the players too, because they know that they're being led by one of the best IGLs. So it actually gives them a lot of confidence with any call that they make. They know that, you know, it's a winnable round, 4v5, 3v5, whatever, it's always possible.
We heard Victor on stage, right, just kind of talking about that. He's like, really, I just need to know my agent, and my shot has to be on. But, like, a lot of that other stuff, to a degree, is going to be prescribed to me. And speaking of Victor, 2 rounds in a row, this dude owned the map.
I mean, a 4K into a 3K, and then the last round of the game, he got a 2K as well. Victor looked unstoppable, and that's a continuation of last week, where he was also pulling off ridiculous rounds like that.
Man, that's crazy.
These satchels.
These satchels to stall the hit. I love seeing Razes use their satchels that way.
It's like he can play every agent, and he's like micro with the utility on all of them are exceptional. His Raze satchels, he's going to lock in the Viper this game. His rounds are always on point. No matter what he is playing, he just has the tech down.
Yeah, and just a small thing from this round as well is that Sam actually jump spotted from default to set up Victor backside, so the team play is just phenomenal, setting him up to get these kills as well.
You love to see it. You love to see it. And you love to see a team turning on at the right moments, right? We can talk all about the ups and the downs, and sure, there's going to be critical things that I'm sure they as players are even looking back at some of those earlier losses and going like, I'm sure they believe they could be a 1 or a 2 seed going into playoffs. Either way, I think it's for sure known now that they believe they can beat the people who still outpace them at the top of the table, Mimi.
It's clear. And Victor in that interview was talking about the fact that rolling back to last year, they were constantly winning. They hate losing. And 2 other guys that were rolling back to last year was already who we talked about, Victor, but also Crashies. This duo, I think, is probably one of the few duos in VALORANT that has had staying power across so many different iterations of a team. So many different metas. These guys continue to perform at the top of their game with Finesse as their caller since it feels like the dawn of time.
Yeah, literally.
Do you have a specific like duo or person in your life that you kind of feel like you're like, there's just something intrinsic about the way we work together?
I feel like his whole team is that way.
That could be the answer. I just don't want to presuppose.
It's hard to put it down to one person, but I'd probably say Jonah P, just because I played with him on a team before guard too. So me and Jonah have, we've gone through the losses together, the wins, the good moments, the bad. And in the game, we're always clutching like 2v4s.
Right.
And stuff. It's great.
You get those same brain moments. You're like, dude, I was already there for you. I love that kind of stuff. Well, only 3 matches left in the split. Let's go ahead and take a look at our standings. As we mentioned, a majority of our playoff picture is now figured out. We've got Loud, Cloud9, of course, they clinched a while ago, still in those 1 to 2 seeds. Here's the thing, though. NRG, they're locked number 3. Sentinels, they're locked out of playoffs. Furia, now locked into playoffs. You can see them there now taking up the 6th slot with only 1 spot remaining in our postseason. That is to be decided between 100 Thieves and Evil Geniuses at this point. There are a couple other seeding things that are still relevant as well. And so when it comes to tomorrow and what's ahead of us, Crew, or we've got Loud and Cloud9 rather playing for first. Here are the scenarios you need to keep your eyes out for. If Crew win or Loud win, Loud locks first. For Cloud9, if they want to get first, they both have to win and Leviathan has to win because Loud owns the head-to-head there. So Cloud9, a little bit of extra work, not everything within their hands. Point is, though, get it done in your game and let fate decide from there.
And the final match of the regular season, the one match that we have on Saturday, means everything. It's MIBR versus 100 Thieves. 100 Thieves are playing for their playoff chances. If they lose there, that means that EG will clinch that final spot. So despite the fact that we're pretty much fully locked in, all 3 of these remaining matches really matter.
Yeah, and even though MIBR hasn't won a map in quite a long time, there's a lot that changes when pressure like this is on the line. I think tomorrow for 100 Thieves might be their hardest match they've played yet.
Yeah, I mean, not just that, right? MIBR is the team that we've kind of constantly cited. They go to a ridiculous number of 3-map series. Even when they are to drop it, again, they push all teams regardless of where they are above them in the standings. So we still got plenty of Valorant to play out over the coming days, but that is going to do it for us here on this Wednesday, surprise day of VCT North America. Thank you all for watching. Here are your Prime and Gaming Post-Day highlights. And until next time, stay healthy, stay safe, and be good to each other, all right? Peace out. Riot Games Arena is starting to feel like a pressure cooker as both of our squads vie for a postseason position. Sentinels versus Furia.
Second, last one standing. Placement there to isolate the 5-7. Bullets away! 4 and around the Red Bull clutch. You have got to be joking. Lovely shot returning to fire. Digizine. There's 15 seconds. To the back of the site. There's no time. Yet still, acing it. Digizine. Operator, they're just looking for a pick, but they can't find one. Showstopper comes back in! Oh my goodness! It's a slaughter! Sentinels! That's a 13-7, and map 1 is theirs. Smoke in his face, he can weave, dodge in and out, but the back of the site now being cleared up, and lovely reset. MW with 3, precision, taking risks. Close to the angle though, Tens! Rips off 3! Khalil helping to try and redeem, but wow, guess what? MW doesn't even need it. And Furia winning that map. Dominant fashion here. Press him into these angles. He's aware of it, aware to hand in. Marked! All the way down, MW. Listen, line up, got the luxury of it. And the position, noted, firing off. Heads are found, bodies are tumbling, bodies are falling. Still holding it. Shot found, kill found by Cannon. And maybe a few more. Spring! That's it! It's finished! It's done! Sentinels are granted their chance.
NRG playing for pride and seeding for Evil Geniuses. They're playing to keep their postseason dreams alive.
The flashy run to Duke, kill on the crash, he gets a time here cross. And that is awareness coming up from Ducio. 4 kills into the round. Who continues to be strong here for Energy. Artist with 2 kills in the round. Make that even 3. Wow. Making a 4th. Making sure here that Artist and creep around. And there's the ace.
You know that's making the video.
Showstopper out from Victor, trying to find Jogmo, and finally does so. And NRG, oh my god, that was a strong defensive half to take the first map, 19-3.
And here we go, Seekers out. This is going to be the rotation over, but NRG are already in a great spot.
2 versus 2. For the quad. Gets it right away. But Finesse has to hurry up because the Showstopper comes out on the defense for the retake. And here's that play from Finesse. Gets that first kill. Stink by now as well. Still Chogimo. Didn't look at Demon 1 with the dash. Does connect onto Artist. Cobb looks into the wrong angle. Readjusts. But Finesse is still.
I think you understand the round I just had.
You want to play the contact. And as soon as it comes down, Victor gets 2. Throw with the Showstopper. Connects on the Cobb.
No, he doesn't.
No, he doesn't. Still falls as well. A strong fight from NRG as well, as they easily take the series over Evil Geniuses.